2025 is knocking at your door, and that's why I decided to pick 10 of the most insanely good third-person games confirmed for 2025, with great potential to be released in this promising year. A year full of games that push boundaries and tell stories that could define generations. Watch the video, and afterward, feel free to comment on which game you would add for 2025 and which one you're most excited about. One of the most iconic games of the 6th generation is making a comeback with a full remake, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. This classic in the franchise is being rebuilt with modern graphics, while keeping all the essence that captured fans back in the day. For someone like me, who was a huge Metal Gear fan during my teenage years, it's so exciting to see the return of Metal Gear Solid 3, a standout title from the PlayStation 2 era, now revitalized with stunning visuals. The remake's dedication to the original game is a big highlight, making it appealing to both veteran fans and newcomers to the series. A stealth game with improved gameplay mechanics. After Hideo Kojima left Konami, many thought the franchise's future had ended with Metal Gear Solid 5. That's why a well-made remake like this is such a gift for fans and a fantastic chance to revisit or discover Big Boss's journey, rescuing a Soviet scientist during the Cold War and dismantling a nuclear weapon along the way. Without a doubt, this will be one of the biggest releases of 2025. Even if you're not familiar with Metal Gear yet, I highly recommend giving this game a shot. The expected quality is likely to surprise, especially considering the success of the Silent Hill 2 remake, which won over players worldwide. Personally, I can't wait to dive into this epic adventure again. Unlike the past, this Metal Gear won't be a Sony exclusive. It's also coming to Xbox and PC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Still talking about Hideo Kojima, another big highlight for the future is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. While not much is known about the storyline yet, one thing is certain. We can expect breathtaking graphics that will push the PS5 to its limits, with impressive attention to detail and a minimalist aesthetic that suits the console perfectly. Plus, it's almost guaranteed the game will deliver a dramatic, moving, and emotional story, Kojima's signature style. But I have to be honest. While the first Death Stranding won over many fans, it also faced criticism. I count myself among those who didn't connect much with its gameplay. I found it monotonous and repetitive, proving that even with amazing graphics and cinematic cutscenes, that's not enough. Gameplay needs to be engaging enough to keep us hooked and wanting to progress further in the game. What about you? What are your expectations for Death Stranding 2? Do you think it'll exceed expectations and address the shortcomings of the first game? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Hey, brother. Did you miss me?
After Ghost of Tsushima competed for GOTY in 2020 for the incredible performance shown in the game, it's also been confirmed that in 2025 we'll have Ghost of Yotei, set 300 years after the events of Tsushima, and being one of the many stories it plans to tell within the same universe. Not much has been revealed about the game so far, but Ghost of Yotei promises to learn from its predecessor. In an interview with the New York Times, members of the studio mentioned that the new game will feature an open world with more variety. According to creative director Jason Connell, this is always a challenge when creating a vast universe, as it's not always possible to make every corner unique. However, he explained that the sequel is being designed to strike a better balance than its predecessor. The studio also promised more control over the character's story, which could hint at a choice-based system. Something similar existed in Tsushima, where decisions influenced the kind of ending players experienced with Jin Sakai's journey. If everything from the first game was great, this sequel seems poised to take it to the next level. Set in a world devastated by civil war, without a map to guide the player, Hell Is Us puts you in charge of exploring its eerie and well-crafted environment in search of answers. With a dark and tense atmosphere, sometimes drenched in rain, the game features supernatural events that give rise to mysterious creatures known as Hollow Walkers. Your mission is to confront these beings and uncover the secret behind their existence in this place. The developer, Rogue Factor, has stated that the game explores deep themes like civil war, emotions, and family, making for a serious and emotionally impactful story. Exactly the kind of modern game I enjoy. Hell is Us offers a semi-open world full of exploration, without maps or indicators, encouraging players to stay attentive and curious as they explore every corner. Combat involves both melee weapons and firearms to take down terrifying creatures. The best part? It'll be available on all platforms. The game's graphics are stunning. The team spared no effort in delivering a visually demanding game at the maximum quality possible. You know that feeling when you see a game and immediately think, this is totally my kind of game.
Both wrong. They live inside our heads.
When I see a game like Phantom Blade Zero, it reminds me of the dark themes of Dark Souls, combined with the frantic gameplay of the classic God of War series. However, Phantom Blade Zero seems to have its own essence. The graphics are revolutionary, showcasing intense and admirable combat scenes with unique and groundbreaking gameplay. There's explicit violence and blood splattering during battles, and the timing-based combat mechanics are one of the things I enjoy most in melee action games. From what I've observed in the gameplay, the game gives off a sense of smoothness and fluidity, the kind of polished experience that doesn't feel rushed by the developers. It's a frenetic beat-em-up with plenty of violence, and each location seems to offer its own unique challenge. The innovative camera angles suggest this will be much more than repetitive fights with bosses or enemies, such as the combat on top of that carriage. I'm hoping for some puzzles and character upgrades as we progress through the game. This is the kind of title where I'd go straight for the hardest difficulty setting, because I love a good challenge. The game is linear, which makes it feel more like the God of War franchise. And honestly, a game doesn't have to be open world to be amazing. If you enjoyed Black Myth, it's practically impossible not to think this game will be just as good, maybe even better. Another third-person game that's making waves is The Sinking City 2. This time, a new protagonist will explore the city of Arkham in the 1920s, a sprawling maze of flooded alleys and decaying mansions where supernatural horrors lurk just out of sight. The game leans into its vintage aesthetic, set in a city devastated by a flood that brought decay and monsters roaming the streets. If you're looking for a great story and stunning visuals, this game is for you. The Sinking City 2 also brings back a tense atmosphere with plenty of mysteries to unravel. The game features next-gen visuals with global illumination effects and incredibly realistic characters. And if you thought 2025 wouldn't bring any major RPGs, think again. Crimson Desert, developed by Pearl Abyss, is shaping up to be an epic open-world adventure comparable to the acclaimed The Witcher 3. Set in the continent of Pywell, a vast land full of political and cultural divisions, Crimson Desert immerses players in a fascinating medieval fantasy world. The map seems massive, promising rich interactions with NPCs and a highly immersive environment. The combat stands out, being dynamic and challenging, requiring both skill and strategy, which makes every encounter exciting and rewarding. Some gameplay footage has already been released, and the initial impressions suggest the game will deliver an engaging and visually stunning experience. It looks like we'll be able to explore a lot of the map, and almost every object can be interacted with or destroyed. If you're a fan of epic adventures, keep an eye on Crimson Desert. It looks like it'll be an unmissable journey for RPG and well-crafted open-world fans. A game with enormous potential for 2025, especially after recent leaks, is Marvel's Wolverine, developed by Insomniac Games, the same studio behind the critically acclaimed Spider-Man series. This time, though, we can expect a darker, more intense approach, true to the character's style. Let's be real, if Wolverine isn't brutal, what's the point, right? The game also promises an immersive adventure that's sure to satisfy both action game enthusiasts and fans of the hero. I also want to include Fable on this list since it's one of the most anticipated games for 2025. While I don't know much about its gameplay yet, it seems like the interactions with NPCs will be deep and meaningful. It's an open-world game with intricate details, and I'm hoping that this time, Microsoft ensures it runs at 60 frames per second, especially since it's developed by Playground Games and published by Microsoft. Despite some development hurdles, the game is confirmed for 2025.
She was something else, all right. She was...
To wrap things up, I have to mention this game, GTA 6. After years of anticipation, the next installment in Rockstar Games' iconic franchise is projected to release in 2025. However, let's be honest. Considering Rockstar's perfectionism, there's a good chance the release will slip to 2026. Even so, I couldn't leave this title off the 2025 list. Initially planned only for consoles, GTA 6 promises to fully harness the technical capabilities of these platforms, delivering an immersive and visually stunning open world. The game marks a return to a city inspired by Miami, Florida, reminiscent of the iconic Vice City, a vibrant setting brimming with remarkable events and impressive details. This time, Rockstar is innovating by introducing two protagonists, including the franchise's first ever playable female character, Lucia. She partners with her apparent romantic partner and partner in crime in a narrative inspired by the classic tale of Bonnie and Clyde. The story promises to explore their rise in the criminal underworld in pursuit of power and wealth. With the largest map in the series so far, GTA 6 will be extremely dynamic and interactive, offering endless possibilities for exploration from north to south. Without a doubt, this is not only the most anticipated game of 2025, if we're lucky, but also one of the most awaited releases in gaming history. I'll definitely be talking a lot more about this game here on the It's Great Games channel.
Trust?
Trust.
It was pretty tough to make this list, and if there's any game you think I should have included, let me know in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be bringing more videos like this one to the channel. There are so many great new games coming out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content and the channel.